Hey guys, welcome to my Hellencia review. It is a turn-based tactical RPG. I really like turn-based tactical RPGs like Fire Emblem and Final Fantasy Tactics, but the question for this one is, does it join the ranks of those great games? The story is quite interesting. It takes place in ancient Greece, Persia, Sparta, and that time period. But an industrial revolution has been had, and they have access to steam engines. So basically, it's like an ancient Greece style steampunk. It's very interesting. I actually really like that aspect of this game. It gives the option to have steam engines and boats that are powered by gears and propellers and all these other things. And some of your people will actually have abilities that are based around steam, which is really cool. I think that that is one of the best things going for this game. You play as Diona. I think that's how you say her name. I'm not quite sure. She is a servant of Artemis, and she receives a vision that the world is in danger and she must gather allies in order to protect the world and stop this threat that is facing all of the world. The story is told through still images with plenty of dialogue. There is a lot of reading in this game, so if you don't like that, that'll probably turn you off. I do enjoy it personally, however, as I grew up playing those kind of RPGs, so it didn't bug me as much. There are multiple characters to interact with in each of the areas that you go to, and they unlock different branching paths that lead you through different events in your story. I quite enjoyed going through the main story and progressing my different branching paths, until I got to one section that I'm not going to spoil, obviously, but it brought in some ethereal beings that you couldn't damage outside of one person in your party member, which I thought was kind of dumb, and it really relied on a mechanic that the game did not explain at all up until this point. And then if you take this with a plot point that I personally did not like, that essentially takes everything that you've done, makes you go back and do all the other branching paths that you didn't do, it kind of defeats the purpose of having branching paths. It gives you the illusion of choice. It's not actual choice. Choice means that I don't have to go back and do it. The illusion of choice means that I have to go back and do it and revisit it and do it regardless in order to progress the story. It basically feels like the branching paths are just there to spice things up. Sorry guys, you probably just heard that beep. I will say though, the game does rebound slightly at the end of the game, but I never quite got over that realization of the illusion of choice, and that really bugged me personally. I thought it was a missed opportunity that could have been handled much better. It could have been done a lot cooler than it actually was. Combat itself is your traditional tactical affairs. It has attacks, all your different abilities, you move on a grid-based system. It's all familiar, but the one thing that I was talking about with the mechanic before is fall damage and pushing your characters around. Every character, well basically every character, has some kind of way to knock opponents or allies around, causing fall damage, bouncing them off other people, using environmental objects. And that's cool, but the game does not do a very good job of explaining how it works and how to utilize it effectively. That's why I said before that it got me into a situation where I was forced to use these mechanics when I didn't need to rely on them beforehand. I used them occasionally, but I didn't need to mainly utilize them. And in this one section that I really had to use it or I wasn't able to pass it. This leads to some of the encounters being fairly difficult if you don't grasp the mechanics of it well. Basically every environment that you fight in is set up in a way that there are always insta-kills. Either your party or you can kill the opponents in one hit, provided you throw them in the right thing or you throw them into the ocean or whatever. There's various ways to insta-kill people. I did, however, enjoy the combat, so regardless, I had fun playing it, and that's ultimately what matters. That's the most important part of the combat. It has to be fun, and I did have fun playing. Now, the sound design is nothing special. I mean, it sounds like something that you'd hear on a Super Nintendo style game. It's fine. Nothing stood out to me. Nothing was amazing, except when you're at the still images, when you're in the cities and whatever else, you hear the crowds bustling in the background, and when you're at a place that I'm not going to say because it's kind of a spoiler, you hear the gears of this inner workings of the city constantly while you're talking and while you're reading all your dialogue choices and everything, and that was really cool too. I thought those little touches were really nice. Graphics wise, it was pretty good, but I felt that it was very anime-ish, and I didn't really like that. I feel like this game could have benefited from a little more realistic graphic style as opposed to the sheer anime style that they seem to go with, which, I mean, you know, whatever, that's just a little nitpick. It's not a huge deal. It doesn't detract from the game. All in all, I did like the game. There were a few issues, like I said, with the illusion of choice and the branching paths really meaning nothing. One thing I didn't mention before is the branching paths do lead to a lot of repeated dialogue. There were numerous times where I was just clicking through because I've already read through everything they have to tell me, or I've seen this scenario played out in a different way, just at a different location. So there was a lot of repeating in terms of the dialogue, which was annoying. And I mean, whatever, it is what it is. All in all, I did enjoy the game. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I think it's an above average game, to average, depending who you are. If you like turn-based games, turn-based tactical RPGs, you will like it. If you're looking for very stat-heavy RPG, you won't get that here. You don't want this. This is a very casual tactical game. It's not in-depth, or I won't say it's not in-depth, but it's not stat-heavy. There's no upgradings or job classes and things like that. You just have your basic skills that you can upgrade and unlock new ones. It's nothing overly complicated here. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed my Hellenica review. If you like this, share it with a friend, give it a like, subscribe, do all that jazz, and I will see you all in the next episode. Later.